One of the things that I think comes up with this situation, and not necessarily that they did anything wrong in this case, but we've discussed before the idea of when you deal with a wholesaler and they want a non-refundable deposit. I'm always going to tell you that they didn't in this case, because again, one of the lessons he said he learned was just kind of trusting a contractor that he should not have. But I will always advise you to get a independent third party who has nothing to do with the deal to do a professional, complete home inspection. It is the best $250 or so that you will ever spend. Any realtor would shake their head and tell you that needs to be done, especially, you go in and buy a retail house that's already been fixed up and you should spend $250, right? But if you're going into a house that clearly already has a number of issues, yes, most of the time when I do a home inspection, most of the time they're telling me a bunch of stuff that I already knew. Yeah, that needs to be fixed. Yeah, I realize there's a hole in the roof. Yeah, I realize the roof is, needs to be replaced. A lot of it we know already needs to be fixed, but every once in a while they'll bring up something like, it has all polybutylene plumbing and has to be completely replumbed. Or did you see that it had all aluminum wiring? Did you see that, the foundation seems like it's cracked and all the door, things are crooked? Like, it'll bring up things that perhaps even as an experienced rehabber that I may not have noticed. And so for just peace of mind, the inspection is important, especially if you're going to go to a point where you're going to put down a $5,000 or however much non-refundable earnest money deposit. Because what the EMD does is, yes, he got to a place when he found out that there was a lot of repairs that needed to be made, that they almost just decided, we're just going to walk away from the $5,000 and move on. He may have now think he wish he would have done that. I don't know, they may make good money on this, but in the end, it's one of those things that when you put that non-refundable deposit down, it does create pressure. Whether it's significant or not, it does create pressure to feel like you have to move forward with the deal, because it's hard to walk away from that money. And you will maybe see things through rose-colored glasses and not analyze it as tough as you would have, because that's out there. It's almost now been part of the investment in the deal, and you're like, well, if I walk away, I'm already down $5,000, so I might as well, go forward with it and at least save that. And so that aspect of it, just be very, very careful. Make sure you're going in with eyes wide open before you put any kind of non-refundable money down. And it would go back to the point that I'm constantly making with investors. And again, I've bought from wholesalers, okay? So I'm not, it's not that it's a negative to buy from wholesalers. I've put non-refundable deposits down. There's going to be certain deals where that makes sense. So I'm not saying that that's not something you should go forward with or do. What I'm saying is that in general, and one of the things we'll be going through in the 30-day challenge, and one of the things I'll be talking about over the next few months at PIG when we talk about marketing, you should really have your own deal flow, right? Because when you have your own marketing plan and you have your own deal flow and you have motivated sellers calling you, you're now never being put in a position where you have to put down these large non-refundable deposits. You get the pick of the litter, you're taking the best deals. If you're new in renovations especially, I would never recommend, this is a very bold, brave man right here, because I would never recommend this big of a project. Again, they thought $60,000 going in, and they went over budget. And so I would never recommend somebody at their first renovation go into something this large. When I tell some people, I really want them to focus more